Neighbors kept crashing into their fence, so Dad built a wall to get his revenge. Family fed up with neighbors and built concrete fence as revenge. Every one of us wishes to have good neighbors, but that doesn't happen all the time. For some, they turn out to have bad neighbors. And if you're one of them, for sure you've already tried everything that you could have done to at least have a civil and peaceful relationship with them. But sometimes that's easier said than done. This family had been having a hard time trying to adjust and understand their neighbor, when finally Dad decided to do something about it. A Reddit user shared how his neighbor made their life difficult. He said that one time the neighbor had a truck filled with wood run over their fence. Mia wrote, "We live in a small private neighborhood. The neighbors are related to us more or less, distant relatives. Everybody here is a complete nut job. They were constantly arguing over decades before me or my brother were even born. Our property line is kind of like a square, and it's surrounded by a road from two sides. Keep in mind that on one part of the road, we let our neighbors use 1 square meter of the land so they could use the road safer and not damage our property. And when they realized that it was deliberately done by their neighbors to have their fence destroyed, they confronted them about it, but they refused to pay the damages. So the dad, who happens to be a police officer, decided to teach these people a lesson. He got fed up with them, so the family decided that they needed to do something about it. Mia's dad dug up property line markers, then filled the entire area with rock-filled barrels. Now the neighbors are furious as they showed up at Mia's home. They threatened to call the police since they say that they hit their cars on the barrels. In fact, they even threatened to attack Mia's dad using a pickaxe. But, well, all these were only empty threats. And despite the barrels, they did not stop causing problems to Mia's family. So his dad came up with a plan that would surely teach them a lesson. Mia shared, "My dad was furious, and he changed his petty revenge into a pro-revenge. He cut some wood to use as a mold. He bought cement, sand, and metal poles. One peaceful afternoon, my father and I cemented that whole part of the land and placed some lovely flowers on top. So when they hit the concrete, they can smell our flowers of victory/defeat. And this time, the plan worked. But still, this was not the end of their problems that their neighbors are causing. Their neighbors wrecked 8 of their cars on the concrete fence, but nobody showed up to complain. And Mia's family was the only one in the neighborhood who took care and maintained the road that's next to their property." Mia wrote, "They were constantly arguing that we don't do a good job at maintaining the road. They would much rather criticize us than help us. Sometimes, no matter how kind or forgiving you are, it'll come to a point that you'll snap." And that's exactly what happened to Mia's family.